Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Let's start with Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giravardhari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jai Giravardhari Yashodanandan Vrajjana Ranjana Yashodanandan Vrajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chukshur Anumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutle Swayam Rupa Akadamayam Datati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajiyam Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shiva Shakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatrubhishcha Kirpa Sindhuvevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Parcharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasti Gaur Bhakt Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukham Kroti Vachalam Phangum Langyate Grim Yad Kirpa Tamham Vande Shri Guru Din Taranam Premananda Madhvaram Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Taram Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Sasvyasam Tato Jayamadurya Nashta Presha Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nestiki Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's stop sharing and share this one. Right, so we are on verse 1526 now, and Narad Muni has been instructing Vyasadeva, and last time he was saying that all qualities should be used in service of Krishna, even if it's like arts, poetry, anything, any science, anything that you know should be used in the service of Krishna. And I think even anything, if you complain a lot, then you use that in service of Krishna. Complain that Krishna, my chanting is not good, or why am I not sincere to you, like anything, just use that in service of Krishna. There's the power. There's a lot of power in devotion service. And also with discussing examples of Narad Muni. Narad Muni was explaining about his previous lives and how he served the sages and how he took their eminence, and he is today what he is because of their mercy. So let's continue. Tatra vaham Krishna katha pragyatam anugridhena ashranam manohara ta shraddhyame nupadam vishranamata prayasharvesi anga mama bhav aruchi. So tatra, thereupon, anu, every day, aham, I, Krishna katha, narration of Lord Krishna's activities, pragyayatam, describing anugrahena, by causeless mercy, ashranavam, giving oral reception, manaharha, attractive, taha, those, shardaya, respectfully, may, unto me, anupadam, every step, vishranavataha, hearing attentively, priyashravasi, of the personality Godhead, ang, O Vyasadev, mama, mine, abhavat, it so became, ruchi, taste. So, O Vyasadev, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. So he's still telling about the sages. So Lord Shri Krishna, the absolute personal Godhead, is attractive not only in his personal features, but also in his transcendental qualities or activities. It is so because the absolute is absolute by name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia, etc. So absolute is absolute, and if he's attractive in one thing, he'll be attractive in everything. It is so because the Lord descends to this material world out of his causeless mercy and displays his various transcendental pastimes as a human being, so that human beings attracted towards him become able to go back to Godhead. Men are naturally apt to hear histories and narrations of various personalities performing mundane activities without knowing that by such association one simply wastes valuable time, also becomes addicted to the three qualities of mundane nature. Instead of wasting time, one can get spiritual success by turning his attention to the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. By hearing the narration of the pastime of the Lord, one contacts directly the personality of Godhead. And as explained before, by hearing about the personality of Godhead, from within, all accumulated sins of the mundane creature are cleared. Sins of the mundane creature, that is us. Thus, being cleared of all sins, the hearer gradually becomes liberated from mundane association and becomes attracted to the features of the Lord. Narad Muni has just explained this by his personal experience. The whole idea is that simply by hearing about the Lord's pastimes, one can become one of the associates of the Lord, just by hearing the pastimes. Because by hearing the pastimes, you become attracted to the Lord. Otherwise, how will you become attracted to him? You have this is why the pastimes are there. Not because Krishna he loves doing pastimes. It's because he probably does like doing pastimes, but he does it for our benefit, so we can hear them and become attracted to him. Narad Muni has eternal life, unlimited knowledge, and unfathomed bliss. And he can travel all over the material and spiritual worlds without restriction. See how much he got from the Lord. Lord is unlimited. He has given him so many unlimited things as well. One can attain to the highest perfection of life simply by attentive hearing of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord from the right sources, as Sri Narada heard them from the pure devotees, Bhaktivedantas, in his previous life. This process of hearing in the association of the devotees is especially recommended in this age of quarrel or Kali. So this process of hearing in the association of devotees is especially recommended. So Shravanam is the first process that we have to follow. And the power of association, the power of devotional service, and the power of hearing. The process is all there. Now we just have to apply it. Tasmim tada labda ruchi mahamate priya sharvasi askalita matirmam yayaham etal sad asad savamayaya pashe mai brahmani kalipitam pare. Tasmin, it being so, tada, at that time, labda, achieved, ruche, taste, mahamate, O great sage, priya sharvasi, upon the Lord, askahalita mati, uninterrupted attention, mama, mine, yaya, by which aham, I, etat, all these, sat, asat, gross and subtle, swa, mayaya, one's own ignorance, pashye, see, mine, in me, brahmani, the supreme, kalpitam is accepted, pare, in the transcendence. O great sage, as soon as I got a taste of the personal Godhead, my attention to hear the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings. For both the Lord and I are transcendental. So, yeah. So we were talking about, we've been talking about Ashakti and Rati and Ruchi. He's developing all these features now, and he's explaining how we developed all these, how we developed the taste. And we complain that we don't have taste. And he's explaining that how he got taste for the personality of Godhead. So the reason we don't have it, as he says, is due to our ignorance. Accepted gross and subtle coverings. So what are these gross and subtle coverings? So we have this gross body, and through the activities of our gross body, we accept a subtle body, subtle covering, and through that subtle covering, we'll get a similar gross body, and it goes on. So now, whatever activities we're doing in this gross body is creating a subtle body that matches our activities. So if you behave like an animal, then you will get a body of your body is turned into a subtle body is turning into an animal's body. And then, because now your subtle body has become an animal's body, in the next birth, your gross body will be naturally to cover that subtle body into that shape of that animal. So if people act like beasts, then they become beasts in the next life, because the subtle astral body has taken that shape. What else would you be? You will be the shape of your astral body. So he's saying that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings, for both Lord and I are transcendental. So ignorance in material existence is compared to darkness, and in all Vedic literatures, the personality of Godhead is compared to the sun. Where there is light, there cannot be darkness. Hearing of the Lord's pastime is itself transcendental association with the Lord, because there is no difference between the Lord and his transcendental pastimes. So to become associated with the Supreme Light is to dissipate all ignorance. By ignorance only, the conditioned soul wrongly thinks that both he and the Lord are products of material nature. But in fact, the personal Godhead and the livings are transcendental. So they are above material nature, and they have nothing to do with the material nature. When ignorance is removed and it is perfectly realized that there is nothing existing without the personality of Godhead, then essence is removed. Since the gross and subtle bodies are emanations from the personality of Godhead, the knowledge of light permits one to engage both of them in the service of the Lord. So you can engage both your subtle body and your gross body. Gross body, 5 elements, subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego. They should be all used in the service of the Lord. The gross body should be engaged in acts of rendering service to the Lord, as in bringing water, cleansing the temple, or making obeisances. So this is what we do with our gross body, outer body. The path of Archana, or worship the Lord in the temple, involves engaging one's gross body in the service of the Lord. Similarly, the subtle mind should be engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, thinking about them, chanting his name, etc. All such activities are transcendental. None of the gross or subtle senses should be otherwise be engaged. Such realization of transcendental activity is made possible by many, many years of apprenticeship in the devotion service. Such realization of transcendental activity is made possible by many, many years of apprenticeship in the devotion service. But simply attraction of love for the personal Godhead as it was developed in us by hearing is highly effective. So I just want to see that again. Such a realization of transcendental activities. So you can do all this nice and slowly, but just by developing the love, you're already there, right? Many, many years. Do you want many, many years of apprenticeship in devotion service? Just we go by hearing about its pastimes. That's what he's saying. That we can attract the Lord. We can, if we build attraction for the love of God, then we're already there. We don't need to do any apprenticeships in devotion service. We're already there. We'll be automatically doing them without any force upon us. In any restriction, we will be serving the Lord because of love for the Lord. So that is so nice. So it says, when you are enlightened, you understand that gross and subtle bodies are his energies and should be used in the service of the Lord. Because if the gross and subtle body belongs to Krishna, something belongs to Krishna, then we should be used in his service. Right? Simple as that. Yeah, and so Krishna explains so much in Bhagavad-Gita, again and again, that manmana bhava bhakto, apply yourself. Mind is the most difficult to apply, most stubborn thing. So that's why he said twice in Bhagavad-Gita that apply your mind. Body, the outer, we do apply. We can pretend to be devotees. We can apply, we can pay obeisances. We can pretend to be hearing. We can clean the temple, and we can do archana. We can show how great we are. We know everything, and look how nicely we're doing. But what's inside? Krishna doesn't want just the outside. He wants you inside as well, because he knows what's inside. He says, don't just pretend to be a devotee. Be internally and externally a devotee. That's the important thing. I know that there's a saying, fake it till you make it. So most of us, we fake it. But that does not mean you keep faking it and you don't make it. Only fake it if you intend to make it. That's the thing. Faking is not a problem, but as long as you're working towards making it, fake it till you make it, but make sure you make it. That should be the next line. Itam sharat pravrishikam ritu hare Vishnuvato me nusavam yasho malam Sankitayamanam munibir mahattabir Bhakti parvatatma rajastamopaha. Itam, thus sharat, autumn, pravishikau, rainy season, ritu, 2 seasons, Hare of the Lord, Vishnuvataha, continuously hearing, may myself, Anusavam, constantly, Yash, Amalam, unadulterated glories, Sankirtaya Manam, chanted by Munibihi, the great sages, Maha Atambi, great souls, Bhaktahi, devotional service, Pravita, began to flow, Atma, living being, Rajaha, mode of passion, Tam, mode of good or ignorance, Upaha, vanishing. So, what's he saying? Thus, during 2 seasons, the rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear these great souled sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the coverings of the modes of passion and ignorance vanished. You know how much happiness that would give if we could feel the passion and ignorance just vanishing away. Transcendental loving service for the Supreme Lord is the natural inclination of every living being or every soul. The instinct is dormant in everyone. But due to the association of material nature, the modes of passion and ignorance cover this from time immemorial. So when material nature takes over, our love for Krishna goes to sleep and the love for Maya takes over. They can't be awake at the same time. Maya and Krishna's love for Maya, love for Krishna, they cannot be simultaneously there. It's one or the other. Love for Krishna, no love for Maya. Love for Maya, no love for Krishna. Or at least it's sleeping, dormant. If by the grace of the Lord and the great soul devoted to the Lord, a living being becomes fortunate enough to associate with the unadulterated devotees of the Lord and gets a chance to hear the unadulterated glories of the Lord, certainly the flow of devotional service takes place like the flow of a river. As the river flows on till she reaches the sea, similarly, pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal, namely transcendental love of God. Such a flow of devotional service cannot stop. On the contrary, it increases more and more without limitation. The flow of devotional service is so potent that any onlooker also becomes liberated from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. These 2 qualities of nature are thus removed, and the living being is liberated, being situated in his original position. Interesting. This is 28. Okay. Yeah, so again, the power of devotional service is given here. That and the more taste you get, the more service, or the more you want to serve the Lord. As the flow of devotional service began, the coverings, as the layers are taken off, of passion and ignorance, Narad Muni, he just became more and more, gained more momentum. See, it's these modes that hold us back. They pull us back from day to day, from hour to hour. They hold us back. Sometimes, we're feeling very devotional, sometimes not so much. These modes, they work on us from, they compete with each other. Sometimes in ignorance, sometimes in passion, sometimes we may be in the mode of goodness. So they are fluctuating, and then our mood fluctuates with them. '29. Tasyeva me ruttasya prishritasya haitanasa shardhadanasya balasya danta sayanuscharasya cha. So tasya, his, evam, thus, may my anuraktasya, attached to them, prashritasya, obediently, hat, freed from, enasaha, sins, shadhadanasya, of the faithful, balasya, of the boy, dantasya, subjugated, anucharasya, strictly following the instructions, cha, and. So I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them, had subjugated the senses, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. This is a small child, 5-year-old child, saying this. Oh, that's how he was, and he was doing this. These are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated devotee. So Narad Muni is telling us this, that that's the attitude should be gentle behavior and attached to sages, and should have strong faith, and senses should be in control, and following them, body and mind. These are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated devotee. Such a candidate must always seek the association of pure devotees. One should not be misled by pseudo-devotee. He himself must be plain and gentle to receive the instructions of such a pure devotee. A pure devotee is a completely surrendered soul unto the personality of Godhead. He knows the personality of Godhead as the supreme proprietor, and all others as his servitors. And by the association of pure devotees only, one can get rid of all sins accumulated by mundane association. That which also means that by association of pure devotees only, one can get rid of all sins by mundane association. So which means avoid mundane association to avoid accumulating more sins. It's no good getting rid of all sins and then going back to doing the same thing again and again. What's the point? It's like making a fire and then putting water over it. A neophyte devotee must faithfully serve the pure devotee, and he should be very much obedient and strictly follow the instructions. These are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the existing duration of life. And it's mentioned that for a diksha, to take diksha of a guru, at least this should be like 1 year. When you meet your guru, or you find your guru and your guru finds you, should give at least 1 year to study one another. You have to study that is this the guru for you, and the guru has to check that is this the disciple for me. So the both should be satisfied. You should be satisfied, and the guru should be satisfied. It's not like you just meet someone, you hear a class, you get impressed by them, so I want to take initiation, or I mean, you can take shelter, but you have to be sure when you take initiation that this is the right guru. So they're saying, give at least 1 year to study each other. It's mood is important. Jnanam guhitamam yattat sakshat bhagavatoditam anvavochan kamishiyantha kirpya dena vatsalha. So jnanam is knowledge, guhyatamam most confidential, yat what is, that sakshat directly, bhagavat uditam propounded by the Lord himself, anvavochan gave instruction, commission tha while departing from, kirpya by causeless mercy, dina vatsalya those who are very kind to the poor and meek. So as they were leaving, those Bhaktivedants who were very kind to poor-hearted souls instructed me in that most confidential subject which is instructed by the personality of Godhead himself. So they were so impressed with him, for a child's attitude and his service mood and his behavior. When you please someone so much, they want to give you something, precious, and they instructed me in that most confidential subject. So you don't even have to ask; they want to give it to you. They say, "Look, we want to give you something for your." They want to show their gratitude to you for your service. A pure Vedantist or a Bhakti Vedant instructs followers exactly according to the instructions of the Lord himself. The personality of Godhead, both in the Bhagavad-Gita and in all other scriptures, has definitely instructed men to follow the Lord only. The Lord is a creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. The whole manifested creation is existing by his will. And by his will, when the whole show is finished, he will remain in his eternal abode with all his paraphernalia. Before the creation, he was there in the eternal abode, and after the annihilation, he will continue to remain. He is not, therefore, one of the created beings. He is transcendental. In the Bhagavad-Gita, the Lord says that long before the instruction was imparted to Arjuna, the same was instructed to the sun god. And in course of time, the same instruction being wrongly handled and being broken was again instructed to Arjuna, because he was his perfect devotee and friend. Therefore, the instruction of the Lord can be understood by the devotees only and no one else. The impersonalist who has no idea of the transcendental form of the Lord cannot understand this most confidential message of the Lord. The expression most confidential is significant here, because knowledge of devotional service is far above knowledge of impersonal Brahman. Jnana means ordinary knowledge or any branch of knowledge. This knowledge develops up to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman. So that's Jnanam, right? Up to knowledge of Brahman. Above this, when it's partially mixed with devotion, such knowledge develops to knowledge of Paramatma, or the all-pervading Godhead. So we're talking about different stages, different types of knowledge. Knowledge of the impersonal Brahman, and then higher than that is the knowledge of Paramatma, or the all-pervading Godhead. So most people are now know about that. They understand there is a Paramatma and there is the all-pervading Lord, because they say God is everywhere. So the God is all-pervading, and they know about Paramatma, but they don't necessarily know that Krishna is Paramatma, right? We didn't know that Paramatma, God, is there, is in the heart, or is there somewhere within us, is inside us, but not necessarily knowing that Krishna is Krishna who is also Paramatma, and is Krishna who is also the impersonal Brahman as well, in different stages of knowledge. This is more confidential. So first impersonal, then Paramatma. So one is confidential, more confidential, but when such knowledge is turned into pure divine service and the confidential part of transcendental knowledge is attained, it is called the most confidential. So confidential, more confidential, and most confidential knowledge. This most confidential knowledge was imparted by Lord to Brahma, Arjuna, Uddhava, etc. So talking about devotion service, Krishna says that he is the source of everything, and also to reach me, Bhakta Mam Abhijanati, you can do so by doing devotional service to me. You can reach me. So nice. And we are sharing that knowledge. We are sharing this most confidential knowledge with anyone and everyone if they are so interested. Yena vaham bhagavato vasudevasya vedasha maya no bhavan avidam yena gajanti tatpadam. So yena, by which, eva, certainly, aham, I, bhagavataha, of the personality of Godhead, vasudevasya, of Lord Shri Krishna, vedasa, of the supreme creator, maya, energy, anubhavam, influence, abhidam, easily understood, yena, by which, gajanti, they go, tat padam, at the lotus feet of the Lord. So by that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of Lord Sri Krishna, the creator, maintainer, and inhalator of everything. By knowing that, one can return to him and personally meet him. So this most confidential knowledge. Now, thing is, Narad Muni, as a child, he had such good character, and he served the sages for 4 months, and he was doing that probably year before as well, up to his capacity. So they pleased with him, he pleased them, and then they gave him the most confidential knowledge. Now we have been given this most confidential knowledge so cheaply, and we are going out giving it cheaply, and then it's not appreciated, right? A lot of people just throw it back in your face, that we don't want it. Or for the moment they are pleased, and then they're back to whatever they're doing. And we hear like stories all the time within families as well, that people recently I was hearing something that somebody is worshipping some other entity, and they say, oh, they're very inspired by Krishna and his God, but they still go on worshipping the other entity as well. So they one type won't be interested, the other type will think, okay, I'll see, I'll take on board what you're saying, but they still carry on doing what they were doing. They don't see as Krishna as the exclusive God, that he is the Adi Purusham, that they don't see like that. So by divine service or by the most confidential knowledge, one can understand very easily how the different energies of the Lord are working. One part of his energy is manifesting the material world. The other superior part of his energy is manifesting the spiritual world. And his intermediate energy is manifesting the living entities who are serving either of the above mentioned energies. The living entities serving material energy are struggling hard for existence and happiness, which is presented to them as illusion. So we put in an illusionary world and we struggle in that. But those in the spiritual energy are placed under direct service of the Lord in eternal life, complete knowledge, and perpetual bliss. So that's the difference, And take this or take that. The Lord desires, as he has directly said in the Bhagavad-Gita, that all conditioned souls rotting in the kingdom of material energy come back to him by giving up all engagements in the material world. This is the most confidential part of knowledge, again. But this can be understood only by the pure devotees, and only such devotees enter the kingdom of God to see Him personally and serve Him personally. The concrete example is Narad himself. So he has, he's one person who we could say has come back to tell the story, tell the tale. Because most people say, well, we don't know, because when a person's dead, he never comes back to tell us, where he's gone, or, what he's doing now. So why should we believe it? But here's an example of a person who left his material body, went to spiritual world, and now he's here, because he can travel anywhere. He's here telling that, look, you're a jiva, I'm a jiva, and if I can do it, you can also do it. Anyone can do it. And then he also explains what kind of attitude you need to achieve this kind of level as well. But this can be understood only by the pure devotees, and only such devotees enter the kingdom of God to see Him personally and serve Him personally. The concrete example of Narad himself, who attained this stage of eternal knowledge and eternal bliss, and the ways and means are open to all, provided one agrees to follow in the footsteps of Shri Narad Muni. So we just follow in his footsteps, follow his instructions, in other words. According to Shruti, the Supreme Lord has unlimited energies without effort by him, and these are described under three principal headings as above mentioned. Okay, so like it says, ways and means are open to all, provided we follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada is telling us, well, we would have never known what instructions Narad Muni gave to Vyasadeva. We don't know. So it's thanks to Srila Prabhupada that he has shared those instructions with us, and he's done the hard work. Now we just have to follow the process. Thank you all so much, and love to hear from yourselves. Hare Krishna, Kiran Prabhu. Hope you well.
Hare Krishna. Yes, very well, thank you. I hope everybody is well. This very exclusive group this morning. Happy to say a few words. People say, well, what is it like to be on the other side? Narad Muni gives the evidence that, look, I've been there. I've got the t-shirt, I've got the video, I've got the evidence. Now, if you don't take it, you are a murk. You are being given the most confidential knowledge. You are being given the most sublime knowledge. You've got the opportunity to be liberated. Asutama Sadgamaya Mitrama Amrutam Gamaya. And I forgot the rest of the words, from darkness to light, from mortality to immortality, from the unreal to the real. The real is the eternal kingdom of the divine. All that's required is what it's said, everything should be in the service of Krishna. This that we are doing is in the service of not Keshav Prabhu, not Kiran Prabhu, it's in the service of the divine. It's in the service of Krishna. And woe and behold, in doing this service, we are reaping the benefits and the rewards. This attentive listening is making our taste, our ruchi, become a little bit more sweeter. The opportunity to exist in the mundane material world is there. But if you've been given the choice of eternal, spiritual, sublime opportunities to be in a world where there is no pain, only gain in eternal, lasting bliss and happiness. What more do we want? What more should we be hankering for? Association, hearing, all those 9 principles are required, and we just have to do it. Nike says, just do it. We just do it. Easier said than done. It's a question that's asked, how do I make my bhakti and my sadhana stronger? This is part of it, just engage in the association of each other, listen to the words of Narad Muni and the Acharyas that have gone before us. This will impact on our behavior and our attitude. That attitude and behavior will impact on the gross body, and the gross body will impact on the subtle mind, the subtle intelligence, the subtle ego. The subtle body is the thing that goes with us into the next stage. We can fake it till we make it, but this is for real. This is a real opportunity to become better people than we are, make a better version of who we are through this process. The verses are so deep, so sublime that you could just die in them, and be happy forever. What more can you say? Just pure devotional listening, pure devotional service, just pure devotional coming together with each other will give us that eternal flow, and we'll be on that eternal river that flows to the shores of the eternal sea that takes us to the journey's end. The process, it is a process. There is no instant fix, because what we are doing today is the sum total of 8,460,000,000 life forms. There's a lot of apprenticeships that have taken place, right? And we could be at the process or at the end of perfecting that wisdom. And finding each other, finding Guru, finding God is the process. We reciprocate with each other. The Guru reciprocates. Krishna reciprocates daily. He's brought us all together. That's his reciprocation. I want to give you that wisdom. I want you to have this confidential knowledge. Krishna is the Adi Purusha. What more do we need? This is the only way, the elixir of eternal happiness, the final frontier. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Praveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very nice pastime of Narad Muni, how he's explaining from his own experience how he became so exalted. So the power of devotional service. So it just reminded me of the shloka, chapter 9, Bhagavad-Gita 9.2, Rajvidya Rajgoyim, Pavitra Midam Uttavam. How this knowledge is most confidential, most, I'll have to read the meaning of it. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets, is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it's the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. So we are very, very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has given us this process, and by mercy of devotees like yourself and Mataji, you're giving us this nectar every morning, Prabhuji. And so all we have to do is attentive listening, like Narad Muni said, attentive listening in association of devotees. So I'm just going back to yesterday's class, and when you answered, how to improve our bhakti. And I'm sure you said, we get the qualities of the 5 topmost devotees we associate with. So I said to my husband, I said, well, I associate with Narayan Prabhu, Radharani Mataji, Kiran Prabhu, because we're reading regularly. So will I get their qualities? So I was very happy, so I'm associating with the right devotees, So I haven't got any qualities, but I'm just hoping I will get a little bit of that. So all we need is faith. And we have to follow the, follow the instructions. And then only we can achieve. And how we have to engage all our senses like Ambrish Maharaj in the service of the Lord. So, but I have desire, like I said to my Prabhu, I need to do more, serve Lord more, but sometimes we have limitations and don't know what more we can do. So it's more like the limitations as well. I just want the mercy, but it says like the mercy of the Lord and mercy of devotees. It is possible. So we have to keep serving to our, best capacity, because Krishna knows what our capacity is. So if we do according to our capacity, I think it will be good enough for Krishna. And yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Suresh Prabhu, Hare Krishna. You want to make any comments, Prabhu? Okay, unless you're driving, it's fine.
Hare Krishna, everyone. What to say? Narad Muni has described what is needed, and when he says that he's also Jiva, he has done it. It is doable. So we can just pray that Krishna, however we are, however our capacities are, however our endeavors are, just accept them, and yeah, he will accept them. If he has got us up to this level that we are able to hear, it's fine. We will be serving Krishna whichever way he likes. So we don't have to feel disheartened that we will not make it or what we will be doing in our next lives. Krishna has got plans for us. If not next life, in one of the lives, like we were hearing, apprenticeship. Why to do apprenticeship when we can just do by hearing? So we are hearing, so that proves that there is a lot of hope for us. We might not be doing perfect hearing. It is only we know ourselves. We can vouch for our own hearing, how good or bad it is, how perfect it is, but it is there. So there is hope for all of us. So that gives me a lot of faith and confidence in the path we are following. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much. We'll meditate on this, and we'll catch up again on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Friday, I think we should have this covered. It's chapter 5, and Monday is going to be bank holiday anyway. And Wednesday we will hear from Gauranath Raj Prabhu, the temple of Iskcon Manchester. He's very kindly doing the overview for us. So looking forward to that week on Wednesday. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.